I'm going to stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go hog.
This is a team sport. It's not a talent-based sport.
We got Bobby fucking Petrino back. If I'm honest with myself right now, it's a cool 12-0. Oh, look at that tornado. Baby, kegs and eggs.
We wanted to get bigger. I'll stop it.
Hey! Stop the ball! Stop the drill! I'm having a press time. Thank you.
We have to fix the line of scrimmage. Went all the way to Michigan.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the College Football Tailgate Big Show. As always, it is me, XFL Jim, joined by the man himself, Chase, Lupine Fiasco, Sessoms, a.k.a. the Wolf of Oaklawn. We are here to bring you Week 3 breakdown, the games of games from Alabama, Wisconsin, to Memphis, Florida State, and all in between. We have it here on the College Football Tailgate Show for you. Chase, I'm juiced.
I can feel it. I can feel the jackedness coming through the microphone, Jim. You looking spectacular. You got an aggressive chest hair. You have a big cat print on your jacket.
Yep.
You're ready to pounce on some prices. I like it.
I'm ready to go. This is a week that a lot of people kind of look at, the casual college football fans look at and see it as a week to take off. Or a week to not pay as much attention because there's no top 10 matchup this week. There's no big game. First off, I want to say the top 10 matchup, like the biggest games, the two premier games in week 2, Texas, Michigan, and Tennessee, NC State, were two of the worst games.
Two just blowouts. Just not absolutely not close. I think it's a sneaky good week for watching college football, Jim. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you've got rivalries that are usually played at the end of the season, right here, like right in the first quarter of the season with the Oregon State and Washington State. So you never know what's going to happen in these sort of rivalry games. So get ready for a wild weekend.
Yes, 100%. Before we do that, though, let's look at how me and Erik did last week. I went 7-3. Erik went 5-2. We had a big week in week 2. Feeling good. And the overall standings are thus: 16-12 for me, 6-7 for Chase, 12-12 for Erik. But we're all positive.
There we go.
All positive.
There we go. That's all that matters. That ROI in that money.
Damn right. That is damn right. Chase, any other overarching things you want to mention before we get right into the games?
Oh, nothing other than that it's a sneaky good week. I felt like it's a week where there were a lot of spot plays as opposed to hard like analytics type plays. And that's what I kind of found myself hanging my hat on was spot plays.
I hit a couple spot plays as well. Let's tout a little bit though. You and me, UNLV. Last night, Friday night.
Yeah. UNLV quietly a wagon, I believe. Quietly a wagon.
I think we can officially say quietly a wagon. I think that's perfectly fine.
You figured that Kansas would have been ready to fire off the Burtoning, you know?
I think so, but I have a buddy, vehemently a K-State fan. He was very happy. He's had to take Bruin for the last couple of years that Jaden Daniels actually isn't very good at football.
He can run fairly well. I mean,
he can run really well, and if he can use his brain.
Yeah. It seems like that offense, it's a lot of like the ball is like predetermined where it's going. Like it's a lot of like screens and stuff, you know? So like how much trouble can he really get into?
I really don't know. You got to be a little bit smarter with the ball in my mind. Also, I just saw on Twitch, Shiz Knight subscribed to the Twitch channel. Appreciate it. All the big love. Chase, let's get in to week 3. Alabama at Wisconsin at 11 a.m. Alabama is a 16-point road favorite. Over under 48 plus 550 on the money line.
It was a big don't touch for me. I think the reason is like you finally got a Bama road game with a new coach. Like it's not like they're going to be prepared the exact same way. So can you count on the same old Alabama? I don't think so.
And I'm worried about Alabama coming off of that USF game. I get if you just see the box score, it looks like it was a blowout. It was not. Wisconsin though has not impressed me the first 2 weeks of the season, and I think we're just you and me. I think we've discussed it. We're kind of just out on Tyler Van Dyke, right?
Oh, totally.
Okay,
Completely.
we're out. I would lean Alabama here. 16 was just way too big of a number for me to get in.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that.
What we do want a part of, LSU, South Carolina. LSU is a 6-point road favorite, over under 47.5, plus 200 on the money line for the Gamecocks. I got something in this one. I think you do as well, Chase.
I do. I'm taking LSU minus the 6 here. I'm playing the spot. I think that there's a spot through a spot because I think that South Carolina caught Kentucky on their look-ahead week because they've got Georgia this week. And they did it with like a pick 6. They did it with turnovers. And you got to think that they're not going to get the same amount of turnovers and the same amount of luck here. They've got a little bit of a look ahead spot because I think they've got Georgia after this, possibly. I don't have to look, but I know Georgia might have just been in the mix with Kentucky. But I think that LSU goes and handles business, and like South Carolina kind of dumped the Gatorade last week.
Yeah, I'm kind of people I believe are probably going to overreact to like LSU's defense really isn't good. But their offense, I think, is still really, really incredible. I'm only touching the first half here. I took the first half over 26. I think we do get points. I think South Carolina will be able to score on LSU, but I don't think there's really any way that they can keep up.
Yeah, I don't think that they can score at the same sort of rate. And I don't think that they'll be able to force the turnovers.
Agree with that. Jeff chiming in, our buddy Jeff. Jim, my alma mater, the Miami Redhawks take on Cincinnati Bearcats for the last time they've played since 1888. The series record is 60-60-7. Who will own the A? We'll get there. We'll get to that one. I don't know. I might have to end up making a pick in that one. Up next, though, Memphis, Florida State. Florida State is a 6.5-point home favorite, over under 54.5, plus 210 on the money line. Chase, what do you got here?
In Mike Norvell Bowl, I got to think that Memphis keeps it close, and I took them plus the 6.5 here. I'm not so certain that Memphis doesn't win this outright. For one, I haven't seen a winning Florida State team yet this season, so I don't know what that looks like. And as long as this is going, I think that it's fair to go ahead and be wary of them and take the Memphis, especially when this game has like big postseason type implications for Memphis, who, if they lose to a weak Florida State team in their non-conference, is going to cost them points when it comes to being the group of 5 team to try to make the playoff.
Yeah, this is a very important game for Memphis here. I think they have the offense to do it. Again, probably just not going to trust Florida State as long as they have DJU back there.
Yeah. What is he giving us to trust at all? Absolutely nothing. If you can just play a little bit of a defense here, you're going to give Florida State troubles.
Arkansas State at Michigan. The Wolverines are 21.5-point home favorites, over under 47.5, plus 900 on the money line for the Red Wolves. I would stay away first off, because two things kind of like hit my head here. A, bounce back spot potential for Michigan, but B, they don't have a quarterback.
Right. And Arkansas State very much does, and they're capable of putting up points. So it's the bounce back spot made this a don't play for me completely, because I could easily see them just cracking their neck against Arkansas State, though Arkansas State, is what we consider to be a pretty good Sun Belt team. You had them to win the West.
Yep. I have a little bit of sprinkle in them to win the West, but I just haven't started off the best. But remember, Arkansas State's season doesn't really start until week 4.
It's whenever
Butch
Butch
Jones
cries.
Yeah, once he gets the tears out, then it's winning here on out. Oklahoma at Tulsa. Oklahoma State at Tulsa, sorry. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State are 17.5-point road favorites. Over under of 63 plus 625 on the money line for Tulsa. The one thing I had nothing going on in this game. The one thing I would recommend maybe people, if you're interested in betting this game, because he's gotten such little play in the first 2 weeks, maybe some Ollie Gordon overs.
Could make sense. I could also see this being a sleepy spot for Oklahoma State after coming off of that big Arkansas win. Then you walk into a 11 a.m. kickoff against Tulsa. You're on the road. My gut says Oklahoma could kick the shit out of them, but my brain says this is a don't touch spot because this is just like the sleepy kind of like spot where Mike Gundy could have his early season fuck up.
This was another one of our brains and guts fighting. Like, my gut says Oklahoma State should kick the shit out of them. My brain says the spot I should take Tulsa. Staying away. North Texas at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 10-point home favorite. Over under 70.5 plus 300 on the money line. You, me, and I have Uncle Rico's plays. All three of us have a couple plays in this game, I believe.
I left it off my list. Yeah, I meant to take this one, left it off my list. I probably will be on this. I guess I will say.
I don't trust Texas Tech's defense whatsoever. I feel like this is going to be extremely pointsy, and North Texas has surprised these first couple games with how competitive and how much better they've looked than in years past. I took North Texas plus the 10.5, and I took over 68. So I only got to get 68. It's over 70.5 now. I still don't hate that. Uncle Rico is on North Texas plus 10, and he sprinkled on North Texas money line at plus 310.
You know what's crazy about North Texas is they beat pretty handily a team that just hung up 87 points on their opponent the other night.
Yeah. North Texas, sneaky right now.
Sneaky.
And Texas Tech, not sneaky, bad defense. Like, legitimately
Very bad defense.
A terrible defense.
A sieve.
Up next, we have Central Michigan at Illinois. Illinois is a 21-point home favorite. Over under 49.5 plus 950 on the money line. I got the worst number, Chase. I took CMU plus 20.
And what did it move to?
21.
21. It could be worse.
It's close. I still like CMU here. This is a spot play. I like the guts. This is one that I considered and ended up not playing here. I think the reason is that you catch Illinois coming off the Burtoning, right? It's a triple whammy, actually. You catch Illinois off the Burtoning. They just beat a ranked team in Kansas, and it's the in-between spot for the start of conference play next week when they come to face Nebraska.
Ooh, that's right.
It's a
Nebraska
sandwich
was
spot.
Pretty good. It is a sandwich spot.
So give me Central Michigan here to jump up and like sneakily keep this one really close.
Right.
La Tech, NC State. I'm not going to. That's 20.5 point spread. Potential get right spot for NC State. You got to see.
Right.
We got to see it from Grayson McCall. We got to see it.
I thought this La Tech team might be pretty bad, so that their one win might be one of the few wins, but still, it's you'd like to see NC State look a little bit better before you lay that many points.
For 1,000%. Cincinnati at Miami of Ohio. The Cincinnati Bearcats are 3-point road favorites. Over under 46.5 plus 124 on the money line. This is a tough one.
Picks? Rivalry game, less than a field goal spread. You got to go with the dog on the money line here.
Yeah.
Go in Ball State.
The record's 60,
Miami
and
of
7.
Ohio.
Go with the Red Hawks. Go with Miami of Ohio. I think coaching advantage is with Miami of Ohio. I think talent advantage is slightly with Cincinnati. Cincinnati kicking themselves after not beating Pitt and letting Pitt come back and win that game last week.
Right.
Give me Miami of Ohio. Straight up. Plus 124.
I'm on it too.
It's not on the sheet. But I'm going to take it.
This is a special ad for our boy Jeff.
Boston College at Missouri. Missouri Tigers are 14.5-point home favorites. Over under 52, plus 455 on the money line. Chase.
I think you take Mizzou here. I've got Mizzou minus the 14.5. I think that, Boston College just ranked, and if they're just ranked, they're primed to fall back out. I think this is a comeback to earth spot for Boston College, and Mizzou, who hasn't allowed a point this season.
Yep.
Is in a good spot to stop them.
Two things in here. As you mentioned, we love fading teams that enter the top 25 for the first time in the season. Love it. It's been working for us for years now. And two, Missouri has not played anybody. This will be a very good litmus test for how good this Missouri team actually is.
It's true. And if they win big, then they're legit, I think.
Yes, because I think both you and me right now, we think Boston College is decent.
Decent. They've got a really good scheme that's going to keep them in games, and they have the right quarterback for that scheme.
1,000%. And if Missouri could handle them and dominate, says a lot about Missouri. And honestly, kind of gets my priors right about the SEC this year in general. That buying away the deepest and best conference this season in particular.
Could be. We'll see.
With Vanderbilt playing the way they are.
Yeah, that brings up the floor quite a bit, doesn't it? Because it used to be the floor was kind of low with a school like Vanderbilt, but now with them winning games, it kind of brings up the floor.
And I'm not saying everyone in the SEC is a powerhouse. South Carolina's not good, Kentucky's not good, Mississippi State's not good.
And you just had Arkansas take a top 15 team to the wire
that's why I didn't include Arkansas on that list.
Yeah.
Florida's probably not good.
We'll see.
I just don't. DJ Lagway. Hey, Lagway. New quarterback. UMass at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 4-point home favorite. Over under 45.5. Plus 150 on the money line. Just taking this one aside to say, I'm betting UMass here. Straight up.
I'd lay him with Buffalo. I think that Buffalo team's pretty good.
I think Buffalo's decent. I think UMass, though, is trying to make a statement here. They're joining the MAC next year. Give me UMass straight the hell up. I think they're feisty.
Okay.
Coastal Carolina Temple, just 17-point spread. Coastal's going to burn that ass. This is a gross game.
Gross.
Notre Dame at Purdue. Notre Dame is a 7.5-point road favorite. Over under of 47. Plus 220 on the money line for Purdue. Again, the spot says get right game for Notre Dame.
Right.
But I can't trust Notre Dame laying more than a touchdown on the road.
I need to see some passing touchdowns. I need to see that offense be a little bit more because they had to pull out all the stops against NIU. They had to pull out all the stops against Texas A&M. We've seen everything that they've got pretty much. So I don't think that they're going to be surprising Purdue with anything really new.
If I went anything in here, it might be the under because I do trust Notre Dame's defense. But
true.
You got to show me something on offense, guys. Be a little bit of dynamic.
Yeah.
2:30 p.m. Oregon State, the Civil War. The Ducks are 17.5-point road favorites. Over under 49 plus 650 on the money line. Chase, you got something here. Let the people know.
Rivalry game. You throw everything out the window. You throw out records. You throw out stats. This is pure emotion, and emotions are running extremely high in this one. This is not going to be fun for Oregon and Corvallis, and I think that you gotta take the points here with Oregon State. 17 is a huge number for a team that hasn't covered a spread yet this entire season, who is squeaked by Boise State and also squeaked by Idaho.
Yeah, squeaking by the entire state of Idaho so far.
Yeah, they are Idaho State champions. That's all they have to hang their hats on. I think that you should never underestimate the amount of hate in a tiny little heart. And I think they let all that hate out and they keep this game close.
The only reason I didn't pick this one is because the line confused me. Because I haven't seen anything from this Oregon team to make them more than a 10-point favorite over almost anyone in the country, let alone an in-state rival like Oregon State.
Right, with a ton of animosity.
A ton of animosity. This is going to be a crazy, fiery environment. 17.5 is crazy. Like, Dylan Gabriel hasn't been great. The line for Oregon, which is the most surprising thing, have been getting dominated by both Boise and Idaho. So I'm staying away, but I like where Chase's head's at. I would also take Oregon State. Tulane, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 13-point home favorite. Over under 46.5 plus 400 on the money line. Staying away. This is like one of those weird double spot plays. Tulane letdown spot after narrowly and maybe like kind of bullshittingly losing to K-State last week. Oklahoma potential get right spot after weirdly barely beating a not a good Houston team and needing like great defense to do it. Your offense was awful.
Yeah, I stayed away from it just because of the spot here. Definitely just a don't touch, just gross.
This is a watch. This is a watch and see because I think this will say a lot. If Oklahoma handles Tulane, this will say a lot about how they're doing this season too.
Yeah, I mean it's a feisty Tulane, but can they be feisty 2 weeks in a row?
Maybe it's not the same. It's not the Willie Fritz Tulane, so I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. And if they are, guess what? They can compete for the AAC then.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wide open. Yeah.
Texas A&M at Florida. Texas A&M is a 3.5-point road favorite. Over under 44.5 plus 136 on the money line for the Gators. Chase, you and Uncle Rico have something here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Gators plus 4.5 here. I think the new quarterback change is gonna spice up that offense quite a bit. And what have we seen out of Texas A&M so far is just they can't score points. And if they can score like they did with was it Galloway?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they can score like they did with him, then I don't think that Texas A&M can keep up.
No, I don't believe in Texas A&M in this spot. I don't believe them as a road favorite. I think the quarterback change does ignite something under Florida, and if it doesn't, I think Billy Napier's on his way out. I think the writing's on the wall.
I think so.
I have nothing here. Erik took Florida plus 3. The fact that it's all the way to 4.5. Maybe I did see something on Twitter that it looks like Connor Wigman might not be playing for Texas A&M.
So that might be moving the line.
That might be moving the line in a positive direction for A&M.
Oof, that's tough.
I don't know. I still like Florida here, and I'll still say it. The Swamp is still a tough place to play.
Yeah, despite what Cam Ward did to it, desecrating it, it's still a tough place to play.
Washington State. The Huskies are 6-point home favorites. Over under 54 plus 185 on the money line for Washington State. Just watch this one. Just enjoy this one.
I need to watch this one because I feel like I know less about these teams than any other two teams in America right now.
I feel like so I've watched a little bit of Washington State. I know nothing about this Washington Huskies team.
Right.
I have watched more MAC than anything Washington, the state of Washington related.
Right. I think if you want to get in on a side, then I think you go with the same thing as the Civil War angle. I would go with, Washington State to cover if it were me. But this is like I said, I don't know enough about these teams to say get in on this game, so it's a pass.
I know enough to just say watch the Apple Cup. It's always entertaining.
Right.
West Virginia at Pitt. The backyard brawl. West Virginia is a 2-point road favorite. Over under 62 plus 105 on the money line. I'm taking Pitt. I don't care that Pitt barely won and deserved to lose against Cincinnati last week. What do I love to do? What do I love to do particularly more than anything? I love taking West Virginia at home. I love fading them on the road, especially as a favorite. Give me Pitt here. Money line, I got them at plus 120. Give me the Pitt.
Give me Pitt as well, and give me Pitt on the money line. It's a system play for me. Anytime I've got a spread within 3 points, especially within a rivalry game, and I can get the home team as a dog on the money line, then it's a straight up money line play. So I think that's just get after it and go Pitt.
Damn right. Shout out Lemon Weeks in the chat. Go Pitt. Hail Pitt. Let's eat all the shit that we can. Ball State, Miami, Florida. It's 36.5 point spread, guys. Come on. We know what's going on here.
Right.
Interesting game coming up. I didn't bet this one. Nevada at Minnesota. Minnesota is a 17-point home favorite against Nevada. Over under 44.5 plus 575 on the money line.
Yeah, I couldn't get excited about this one.
I don't know if Minnesota has the offense to be laying 17.
I don't think so either. Plus, you got a suspect kicker on that team too, so that just bodes for all sorts of not good.
If you bet this, just bet the under.
I agree.
Shout out Stefan. Morgan State, Ohio, whatever. Ohio minus 24.5. Prairie View, Michigan State. I'm just going to mention Michigan State's a 40.5 point favorite here. Exciting things going on at Michigan State, especially at the quarterback position.
Yeah. They're better than I thought they were going to be. That's for sure.
Yes. Troy at Iowa. Iowa is a 24-point home favorite with an over-under of 39.5 plus 1,400 on the money line for Troy.
Their defense is legit, and they don't really score a ton of points. Give me the under in this game. I'm going under 39.5. I think this still might be the best bet in college football.
Back on the wagon.
Back on the wagon. So I've hit one. I managed to stay away from another. Let's see what we can do in week 3 here.
I'm excited for it because this was like the best bet last year, hands down.
Yeah, it was 13-1.
Yep, 13-1, and now we're 14-2.
Yeah.
Let's move it on to 15-2 in the last 2 years. Let's keep this wagon going.
Let's take free money where we get free money.
App State, ECU. App State's a 1-point road dog. Over under 59, minus 102 on the money line for ECU. I wanted to take App State here. I'm going to watch this one. Hopefully I can have this one on the screen. I wanted to take App State here after getting demolished by Clemson. This might be a get-right spot for App State.
It could be a get-right spot for App State. I don't know. Like, after seeing one of their linemen, like, brain another lineman with a helmet, it makes me wonder what's going on in Boone, North Carolina. Like, is there something maybe up with this team? And so I want to be on the App State side because of the spot, but let's wait and see on App State. Maybe they're imploding a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on this one. UAB at Arkansas. Your Arkansas Razorbacks are 22.5 point home favorites here. Over under 61 plus 1,000 on the money line for the Fighting Dilfs of UAB.
I couldn't play it. I mean, go Hogs, but it felt like it feels like a sleepy spot a little bit after that Oklahoma State game.
Who do you guys have next week?
I need to look.
Because that would determine a lot for me. This is probably a sleepy spot. This is probably like a sandwich situation that I would want to play UAB, but Arkansas might be doing that weird thing where they dominate against all their bad opponents.
Right.
And they keep it real close against the good ones.
They got Auburn at Auburn on deck.
Big one. Big game.
Yeah.
Sleepy spot. Stay away from this one.
It's gettable now is the thing. Like, depending on what this new quarterback at Auburn looks like, that spot next week is gettable. So
the beauty will be, Chase, is that he's going to be so bad this week they're going to put Peyton Thorne back in.
Beautiful.
Utah State. Utah's an 18-point favorite. Just keep an eye on this one. Maybe just on the updates or whatever. Just keep an eye on how Cam Rising is doing. You got hurt a little bit last week. Keep an eye on him. See how much they play.
Yeah. I think the line swung quite a bit because he's hurt, so definitely step back and watch.
UConn at Duke. Duke is a 16-point favorite, over under 47 plus 525 on the money line. Almost wanted to do a UMass UConn money line parlay. I'm just wanting to lay that out there. I wanted to do that. If someone out there wants to do that, be my guest. I don't think Duke's very good, but I also don't think UConn. I couldn't get there with UConn against Duke.
Yeah, me either. No part of this game either. Who is Duke to be getting 17 points or given 17 points?
FIU at FAU, the airport versus the boating dock. Florida Atlantic is a 4-point home favorite, over under 45, plus 145 on the money line for FIU. Erik has a play in this one.
Let's hear it, because I got nothing.
He's got FIU plus 5.5 and a little sprinkle on the money line at plus 175. I think Erik might be in love with Florida International.
I think so too.
Is this the third week? Has he had them every week?
Yeah, I think so. And that was his pick to win the conference.
I think I sprinkled a little bit on that one too.
Yeah.
Go FIU. Big game. This will also determine if Florida Atlantic does win and it's like fairly comfortable. I still don't understand what Tom Herman's doing. Like, I always thought he was a good G5 coach, but FAU has had success with two other guys that weren't him.
Yeah.
One
of them was Kiffin, to be fair.
Kiffin's good.
Kiffin is good.
Virginia Tech ODU. It's a 16.5 point game. If you're gonna bet it, bet ODU. That's
they could maybe be like a faux feisty, but they look pretty feisty.
I just also like taking ODU against any like Virginia school.
It seems like they always have some sort of luck with it. Yeah.
UTEP at Liberty. Liberty is a 23.5 point favorite. Is just what I wanted to mention here. UTEP's not going to be the team to get them. Liberty looks gettable, though.
You think so?
I don't know if anyone in CUSA is going to be able to actually get them, but the last thing I want is an undefeated Liberty in the playoffs losing by like 40.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, I feel like a one-loss Memphis or a Boise State or Texas State or any Sunbelt team, too, would be much more competitive. UNLV, throw them in there, would be much better than Liberty.
Yeah, plus Liberty's just really easy to root against.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even as much as I like Jamie Chadwell, it's very easy to root against this team.
Well, he fucked up when he went to Liberty.
Facts. Gardner-Webb at Charlotte. Just wanted to mention this one, the fact that Charlotte the Clit is a 15-point favorite in this game.
Man, does that make you want to dabble with Gardner-Webb a little bit?
It kind of does.
Are we disrespecting Biff Poggi currently?
I'm staying away from Biff Poggi currently. Biff Poggi, the Hoagie Destroyer. Colgate at Akron, 13.5 point favorites. Akron zips. Couldn't get there. Not going to do it. No.
Can't trust a team like Akron.
Ole Miss, Wake Forest. Ole Miss is a 21-point road favorite to the Demon Deacons. Over under 64.5 plus 950 on the money line. Damn it. I love this Wake team, but they're really not good this year. And Ole Miss tends to dominate not good teams.
Yeah, but doesn't Ole Miss probably have someone? They've probably got someone big on deck, too.
I don't know if they do until later in the season. Is the thing.
Is there SEC opener on deck, maybe?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a big game, depending on who it is. Let me see. Ole Miss Rebels. No, they have Georgia Southern next week.
They have Georgia Southern? Oh, then they jump all over Wake.
Yeah, they're going to own Wake. Dude, again, every time we look at this, I feel like every time we talk about Ole Miss, the schedule, they probably go into LSU undefeated. So it's Georgia Southern. After this, it's Wake, Georgia Southern, Kentucky, South Carolina, LSU.
Okay. That's pretty...
It's pretty cake.
Pretty cake, yeah.
That's pretty typically Ole Miss, if you ask me. Yeah, they're probably going to walk all over him. UTSA, Texas. The Longhorns are 35-point favorites in this one.
I mean, after what Texas State did to them, do they kind of deserve to be this big a number? They just might, because Texas looks pretty salty.
Yeah, I think they do. This is not the UTSA team of even just last year that I would have maybe taken this number against for a letdown spot from Texas. I can't get there. This UTSA team has been disappointing.
Were we really UTSA fans, or were we really just Frank Harris fans?
I think we will come to know in time.
Because it might have been that it was just him this entire time.
I like the coach. I don't know. I like saying meet. I just like saying meet.
Always good. Always gold.
Vanderbilt at Georgia State, over under 44.5, plus 280. I like saying this because a road favorite of almost 10. Congratulations, Vanderbilt.
Way to go, Vanderbilt. Good. It's like you got an above ground pool now. You're really coming up in this world.
I'm not taking them here. I'm not touching this game.
No.
But good on you, Vanderbilt. I just love that Vanderbilt's probably going to be flirting with a bowl.
Yeah, they will.
Absolutely beautiful. Hawaii at Sam Houston. Sam Houston is a 4-point home favorite, over under 48, plus 145 on the money line.
This ain't your dad's Hawaii.
No.
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
It's not. I have Hawaii a little bit later in a round robin, but I did not take anything in this game. I like Hawaii here, but it's also away from the island, and that's always tricky. Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee. Western Kentucky is a 7-point favorite. No, stay away, please. Stay away.
Yeah.
Jacksonville State, Eastern Michigan. Chase, guess the spread.
Eastern Michigan is a 2-point favorite. 2-point favorite.
It's a pick'em.
It's a pick'em?
It's a pick'em.
That's moved because Eastern Michigan was close to a 2-point favorite last time I saw.
Eastern Michigan is +1 now, so it's pick'em.
My gut says Eastern Michigan. It says directional Mich.
Those boys at Eastern Michigan play hard.
And Jacksonville State just has not looked good at all. They're probably my worst call of the preseason. Them being a power, maybe even contending for that playoff spot.
Yeah, I think mine was still Wyoming. Rough. Georgia, Kentucky. I just wanted to mention this one. I do have a pick in this one. Georgia is a 22.5-point home road favorite. Sorry, over under 45, plus 1,300 on the money line for Kentucky. I kept it simple here. Georgia's going to be having their starters out by halftime. They're going to roll here. Kentucky, call it what you will, a fluky win for South Carolina. Kentucky has no offensive line.
None.
You know who that won't work against? Georgia.
Yeah. Turns out, Jim, that they've got stud defensive players all over the field. Yeah.
We're a few years, we're like 3 or 4 years removed from Kentucky having like legitimately good line play to kind of elevate them to a level where they could be competitive for like a little bit against these teams. I took Georgia minus 13.5 first half.
Oh, I love that spot. I love that.
Yep. John Lewis, good friend. Check out John Lewis Sports on YouTube. Georgia will have more players on the field than UK will have fans in the stands by halftime.
I think that's pretty fair.
I think so too.
I would agree, John.
The Kentucky fan base does not seem to be in a very positive mood at the moment.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, you do.
Hate to see it.
Colorado at Colorado State. Colorado is a 7.5-point road favorite, over under 58.5, plus 240 on the money line. I did it. I don't care. It's probably a public play. Everyone's against Colorado right now. You probably should be on them, but I took Colorado State plus the 7.5 because Colorado State stinks. Colorado stinks. It's a crazy rivalry game. Colorado State was worse last year, and they almost won it.
Like pancreases got lacerated in last year's game. It's gonna be a 2 chin strapper.
This is gonna be a very fiery game. I expect it will be very entertaining. I don't know if the spotlight is on it like it was last year, but I'm gonna be watching because it's gonna be entertaining as hell.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I took Colorado State plus the 7.5. I think Colorado gets the win. I think this might be one of their last 2 wins of the season. Indiana at UCLA. Indiana's a 3.5-point road favorite against the Bruins. Over under 47 plus 145 on the money line. Chase, what do we love? Fading teams from out east, crossing the Rockies to play a team out west. Give me UCLA plus the 3.5. I got them plus 3.
You're a bold man because that's a bad UCLA
It's a
team.
really bad UCLA team. I watched that Hawaii game, and Indiana looks good. But you know what? This is gotta be this is my last stand for UCLA. This is the Bruins' last stand. If they lose this one embarrassingly, I'm out. I'm fully out.
Okay. I might not ever be in.
They gotta force me out. Pasadena, beautiful environment. No one's gonna be at this game.
Nobody.
That Rose Bowl will be empty.
There's so many better things that you could be doing in LA this Saturday, this lovely
Oh,
Saturday.
then watching Indiana. Yeah, there's a million better things than watching Indiana UCLA.
Yeah.
UCF TCU 2-point home favorite. I might take the Horned Frogs. Not touching, but I could see the Horned Frogs getting it here. We like
if I
UCF,
dabble,
though.
I do. It's rare for me to like anything Gus Malzahn related, but if I were to dabble, I would dabble with this with UCF on the money line.
Probably just smart just to stay away. Air Force Baylor. Baylor's a 16.5-point favorite here.
What's the total?
41.
That could be an interesting under because Air Force just went under with San Jose State, who's more of like a up-tempo team, and they were able to slow them down and go under 42. That might be an interesting total play for someone out there.
That might be an interesting one. Toledo at Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a 10-point home favorite.
But can you trust them?
No. I don't know if I can trust Toledo on the road here. Jeff chiming in. Can't wait to see Vandy in the Bahamas Bowl brought to you by Popeye's Chicken. Yes!
I feel like that Bahamas Bowl always turns into a fight, too.
It's a fun one.
Like, there's a chicken and then there's a fist fight, so it's a good bowl game.
Toledo, Mississippi State, I will just be rooting for Toledo here. Rooting for the MAC.
Okay. That's fair.
New Mexico versus Auburn. You
Man,
said there's a new quarterback for Auburn, right?
Yeah, it makes it a don't touch, but you really want to get in on the New Mexico side, right?
26-point favorites here for the Auburn Tigers.
Who are the Auburn Tigers to be laying 26 points right now?
Yeah, if they were trotting Peyton Thorne out there, maybe that's the line movement. Maybe Peyton Thorne moves the line back down to 14. But I stay away from this one. This will be a gross game. If Auburn doesn't dominate here, potential trouble situation.
Yeah, and I could even see old Hugh Freeze's seat getting a little bit hot if he doesn't win here.
So the recruiting
Or not
class, I think,
win.
keep him for another year.
Maybe.
I think the recruiting class, they give him another year. The fact that you didn't go anywhere in the transfer portal is stupid. You know what you have in Peyton Thorne.
True.
Northern Iowa at Nebraska. My Nebraska Cornhuskers, 30.5-point home favorites. Over under 49.5, plus 3,500 on the money line. Erik had a play in this one. I like it. I'm not betting nothing in this one. Erik took Northern Iowa plus 32.5. I like it because this is another spot play. The come down after beating Colorado, a historic rival, and the uptick in starting Big Ten play next week when Illinois comes to town. It's a sandwich situation. I would take Northern Iowa here, but I hate betting Nebraska games because I'm always just so bad at it. Like, I'd bet Northern Iowa here, Nebraska would win by like fucking 50.
Yeah. It's due to your flip-flop sense of karma here. I'm out.
Erik, though, again, to reiterate, is on Northern Iowa. Plus 32.5. I don't know if he would take it under 30, but it's at 30.5 right now. Kent State, Tennessee. 49.5-point spread, huh?
I'm not so certain they can't cover that.
I'm also, dude, the over-under is 63. I bet Tennessee gets there by themselves.
They could do it. They've got the offense for it, so yeah.
And Kent State might be like, oh God, them, Temple, and oh god, they're so bad.
But do you want to be that guy with that ticket in your pocket at the end of the day?
Me last year would be. I would be the Tennessee minus 49.5 guy.
Now you have accountability.
Now I do. Actually, now if I was going to play this one, if I was trying to force plays, I would just bet the over here.
Okay.
Maryland, Virginia. Maryland is a 1-point road favorite against Virginia, over under 56. Basically a pick 'em. September, Maryland was broken by Michigan State. I don't know if that carries over. I think Maryland's the better team, though.
I do think Maryland is the better team. Virginia is not fantastic by any means. I don't know. A spread this close with Maryland in September, it feels hinky. Does it make you want to lean into the crazy? For me, it doesn't. I'm out.
Yeah, just stay away here. Rice at Houston. Speaking of crazy, Houston is a 4.5-point home favorite here, over under 44, plus 160 on the money line. Chase, why? Why are you betting a Rice game?
Because I think that Houston's better. I think that Houston is the better team, and I think that they handle Rice pretty easily. I don't trust Rice at all. To not, it's not that I don't trust Rice and Rice can win. It's like I just don't trust them to put up any sort of points or any sort of fight here. So I think that Willie Fritz is maybe getting Houston going a little bit, and I think it's an easy spot to hit a 4.5-point spread.
What you don't understand, Chase, is exactly everything you said is true, and that's when Rice gets you. When you don't think this team is chaos and they don't care.
It's true. It's true.
I don't understand the Rice Owls.
It's not for us to know. Not in this earthly plane.
They're like an eldritch horror of a college football team that is beyond our understanding. And when we do gaze upon them, we are horrified by what we see.
By what we see, yes.
BYU, Wyoming. BYU is a 9.5-point road favorite against Wyoming, over under 40, plus 270 on the money line. I stayed away. I couldn't.
Yeah, just for the fact that Wyoming's at home. But I think BYU could easily get that.
Dude,
I'm not going to play it.
Dude, Erik is on Wyoming plus 10.5 and on the money line.
Going back to the well. Okay.
Going back to the well. I have to assume this might be the last time for Erik. He might kick him out of the house at this point.
I think so.
I think we love. All three of us loved Wyoming so much in the preseason, it's hard to see where they're at right now.
Right.
And also, I love BYU, so I couldn't touch this one. San Diego State at Cal. Cal is a 17.5-point home favorite, over under 48, plus 625 on the money line. I'm doing it, Chase. I'm betting every Cal game. I'm not betting Cal every game, because this is a spot play.
Okay.
Cal just defeated Auburn, an SEC school. Crazy game. 4 picks to do it. Give me San Diego State. I got them at plus 19.5. I don't know if I love it at 17.5.
I honestly like it at any double-digit price.
I think anything over 2 touchdowns.
Like anything over 2 touchdowns, I think it makes it exceedingly playable. I like that spot, Jim. That's something I wish I would have been on.
And Erik would say, this is what Erik would say if we were here. Love Justin Wilcox as a dog. Hate him as a favorite.
Yeah.
Give me San Diego State here, plus 17.5. I think Cal's a really good team. I wouldn't have a little future on them to win the ACC if I didn't think they were a good team. But I think the spot says to take San Diego State.
Right.
New Mexico State, Fresno State. 19 points for Fresno State, by the way, in this one.
Lay 'em.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it, but lay 'em. Fresno State all day.
I would take Fresno State all fucking day, dude. I think this New Mexico State team is really not good. Chase. It's time for the round robins. I'll start with Erik's. So Erik is basically just doing the teams that he bet on as a round robin. He's taking Florida International money line, Wyoming money line, Florida money line, North Texas money line, and Hawaii money line. Sorry, Erik was on Hawaii plus 4.5, by the way. Forgot to mention that. Against, so
Sam
go,
Houston.
Uncle Ricco.
Yeah, look at that. Not afraid of air travel from the Big Island.
No. He's not. Stands tall. Chase, what's your round robin?
We're gonna go with Mizzou minus 14.5, Florida money line, Memphis money line, and then Oregon State plus 17.5.
Beauty. My round robin, Memphis old money line. Memphis, North Texas, UMass, Pitt, Hawaii, UCLA. And then, of course, I got to come at you with another teaser.
I'll play the part of Uncle Rico here. Jim.
Toledo, I am teasing from plus 12.5 to plus 18.5.
Jim.
USF, South Florida, I am teasing down from 11.5.
Jimmy.
To 5.5. Rice, plus 4.5 to plus 10.5. Coastal Carolina, teasing them down from 17.5 to minus 11.5. Vanderbilt from minus 10.5 to minus 4.5. And Notre Dame from minus 10 to minus 4. Where does it lose? Plus 700. Where does it lose?
Trick question. It doesn't.
Damn right. And I'm doing the same thing me and Erik did last week. I'm giving the people here 1 minute to answer, 1 minute in the chat to answer what leg of this teaser loses. And if you guess right, we'll give you a $10 free bet of your choice.
There you go, folks. Tell them where it loses.
We're doing the minute countdown right now. I'm starting my timer. We're doing 1 minute. It started. So again, I have Toledo plus 18.5, South Florida minus 5.5, Rice plus 10.5, Coastal minus 11.5, Vandy minus 4.5, and Notre Dame minus 4. If you tell me where it loses, if you guess right, we give you a $10 free bet of your choice. Chase, I think going through all these games, it really is a sneaky fun week.
It's a sneaky fun week. I think that you've got the potential for, maybe not ranked upsets, but upsets nonetheless with a couple of, plucky P5 teams taking on the G4.
Yeah, I think we get the there's potential for some really fun group of 5 over P4 upsets.
Yeah, group of 5. Sorry, my bad.
Very makes for a very entertaining weekend.
Yeah, I think that you've got a really interesting game with Memphis and Florida State. Like, I don't think that I think that is definitely a game that could go down to the wire.
That's the timer. No one made a pick. No one said nothing.
Passing up free money.
Passing up free money, people.
Unless your teaser doesn't lose.
I was gonna say my teaser. I think on the season, week 0, week 1. Sorry, no, week 0, week 1 loss. So week 0, early slate. Week 0, actual Saturday. Week 2. So I'm 3-1. I'm 3-1 on teasers.
That's math, and you can't argue with math there.
Remember last year?
Yeah, I don't think you could hit a teaser last year.
I couldn't hit a single damn one. Now I'm hitting them like crazy. I'm feeling on top of the damn world. Go watch some football today. If one last thing before we go, I want to pick one game through each slot to have on the main screen. Early slate has to be Memphis, Florida State.
I think so. What channel is that on?
That will be on, let me see, ESPN.
Oh, perfect.
ESPN. So that's your early slate game. The afternoon is a little trickier. Notre Dame Purdue could get interesting, and that one's just on CBS. Tulane, Oklahoma, potentially. Oh, no, sorry. Afternoon, Washington State, Washington. Apple Cup. And Oregon State. You get the 2 rivalry games right there in the afternoon slate. Then the late night games for you, Chase, just because it'll bring you a lot of hope and joy and pleasure. You can watch Georgia at Kentucky. Honestly, though, I think the most entertaining game of the night will be Colorado State. Honestly.
Yeah, I think that'll be a straight up war, won't it?
Yeah, I think that'll just be a banger of a game. That'll do it, folks. That's it. This has been the big show. That has been Chase, Lupine Fiasco, Sessoms, a.k.a. the Wolf of Oaklawn. I have been XFL Jim. And before, once again, these are our picks. Chase is on LSU -6, Memphis +6.5, Missouri -14.5, Oregon State +17, Pitt, money line at +105, Florida +4.5, Troy, Iowa, under 39.5, Houston -4.5. My plays. Central Michigan +20, LSU, USC, South Carolina, by the way, over 26, first half. North Texas +10.5, North Texas, Texas Tech, over 68. UMass money line at +165, Pitt money line at +120, Colorado State +7.5, Georgia -13.5 first half, UCLA +3, and San Diego State +19.5. And for Uncle Ricco, North Texas +10, North Texas money line +310, Florida +3, FIU +5.5, and on the money line for +175, Hawaii +4.5, Northern Iowa +32.5, Wyoming +10.5, and sprinkle on the money line. Thank you all for watching. We love you guys, and we will see you next time on another episode of the College Football Tailgate Big Show.